So let's take a look at the touch support again. Touchscreen is based off the pointer class. If you look at the devices for the mouse, it's also developed off the pointer class as well. Touchscreen is the device. Touch is a class which defines the properties of the touch you're dealing with. We'll go over that one moment. One thing, we'll go to Unity one second. One thing that they've done for mouse support, basically the mouse inputs is, basically one of the things is like, hey, these are different things inherited, but one of the things that you will get is that if you use a Unity button, basically you can go and click on it on the touch screen and it will act like a mouse click. So that's for their sanity's sake that they've added that support for us. Let's go back. There is a package. So basically, let's take a look at there is a Boat World package. I've actually downloaded it already. I'm just going to drag in right here. And this is a new project. We'll talk about that in one sec. I'm going to import everything. And here is the boat. So there's a boat model. Here's its materials. There are some scripts with it already. I've given you a scene already called Boat World. And here is essentially, we go look. This is the boat. And we are in a world of water. We zoom out. We'll zoom to the side for one moment. If we look at the world consists of basically the directional light, the floor, which I'm going to turn on as mesh renderer right now. So there is another object right here that is the floor. Think of that as that's what the boat crawls around on. So it's not actually like we're not doing water physics or anything in this regards. We're just moving around with the rigid body. So that's the floor. It's basically a prim that's there. There's the ground, which is this plane right here, and there's a water plane. Hooray. So, that's basically our world effectively. We have the camera set up on, basically there's the camera roots, and there is this main camera. Basically, there is a zoom script on here. We can let's go look at that. So basically, there's a zoom. Okay, so there's a public variable here for zoom that we can affect. And it just basically scales. Basically, it's camera transform. This is not position. We want the local position. So basically, we're scaling this vector right here based on this zoom value. There is a follow along script. Hooray! That's basically move this to this object every frame. There is the boat itself, which basically so basically this cube right here, it's its collision. So that's what's sliding across the floor, effectively. There is the boat model itself, which is way over polyed. There's a lean route. So basically, if we press play, you can see that I can lean it. How much can I lean it? Yeah, there we go. So it's a percent of 15 degrees basically. So you can see that right there, the rotation. You can see it's setting the rotation. There is a bob here. Oh, we'll worry about that in a sec. So let me go into the scene view. You can see that it is moving that up and down. So how high is this? 1 period, do 0.5, faster, 0.1, slower at 2. So this is all things that you can control. Basically, smoke and mirrors with the boat. All right, they're here for you to have fun and play with. There's nothing here that you need to adjust. All right. Ultimately, what you are going to do. Let's go back to the boat itself. Basically, there's a boat rotation script here. You will probably go in and you'll probably play with this script to do your work, to be quite honest. This is probably the controller. Let's look again. There was a boat rotation. So there is this sail icon. And this basically has moved to pointer. Basically, this is, let's just look at the script here. Basically, game object, there is a screen. Where's the screen, the world script? Here we go. So this is a screen to world script. Basically, it's asking what camera are we using and what is the world location. Let's go to edit. And it's a singleton. Basically, it's just saying, hey, it creates a ray from the screen to point ray, get screen point. If it hits anything in the world, it sets the world location. The functional hand, if we're working with screen or mouse for us. Hooray. This should run the code only on Android. So basically, you're going to extend this code here to extend the touchscreen. So let's go look at that right now. We already have the input system in. Before we do that, I'm gonna save my. Let's go to. I believe it's project settings. Yeah, project. It's in the project settings. All right. So the first thing that we want to look at is under player. Under other settings, the first thing that we want to go to is, where is it? Where is it? Configuration. Oh, okay. It's already set to just the input system package new. Okay, so Unity has disabled, so I've updated this template today, and in the new update of the template, this is the 3D built-in core. Unity has disabled the old input manager, and we're only using the new input system. Some of you need to look at this. So active input handling, make sure this is set to new only, and not to both. Reason for this is that there's a structure that exists in both the input manager and the input system package manager. Literally, they copied it from the old one and put it in the new package. And I'll show you what that is in one moment. But the issue here in that regard is ultimately is that because those two packages and it's something we're going to use, it's confused which one. When you ask for it, it's confused which one you're going to use. So we're disabling the old input manager and keeping the new input system to avoid that problem. And hooray, Unity, you're ditching your old input system out of the gate. Thank you. Because it's garbage. So that's the first thing. This is already set up. The other piece is under the Android. And it's under resolution and presentation. And it is basically what is resolution. That's not what I'm looking for. There is a section for orientation, default orientation. Right now it's under auto rotation and user behavior. We really want this to basically be use landscape right. And that will stop from your, so what some of you have been happening is that you've turned your application, portrait-wise, and then gone landscape-wise, and the application changes its rotation.
Or just flips to the other version, the other landscape direction.
Yes, and this is going to stop that. This is going to keep your application oriented in that it's going to orient it to the landscape going to the right. Right, left, it's your choice. I think right is where, because I prefer having my cord to my left side. So landscape right is going to be what I'm generally going to use. But you can do, force it portrait upside down, or you can, again, default was auto rotation. So this is particularly this week. You'll definitely want to go to the landscape. Yeah, for most of your applications, you're going to be wanting landscape anyways, unless you're doing something like, again, Pokemon Go. That's in portrait mode for obvious reasons. Okay. All right. So again, this get screen point, basically it's going to the device itself. So in this case, what we want to do is touch screen, and we're going to call it screen. It's going to be touch screen dot current, as all other devices. So if screen not equal to null. Then we can go to the touch. We can look screen dot. So under screen, there is a property for touches, and it's a property. So the class is going to be an array of touch controls it's just singular. System. Oh, okay. So there is a using Unity engine input system utilities. Really? No, it's under controls. There we go. Ugh. You're gonna apologize for me right now. It's giving me back a read-only array, and I am right now not feeling well, so I'm going to use the var keyword today to get around what we're dealing with. But what we're going to do next is basically if touches. Oh, come on. There it's a count. It's greater than 0. So basically touches is an array of all the touches that we're going to deal with. For our purposes right now, we are going to deal with only the first touch. And we're going to ask, hey, where is that touch on the screen? All right, so it's going to be, so it's touches 0 dot, and we can look at, hey, aliases, children, delta, how much it's changed. We can ask if it's in progress, if it's name, parent, how much is the press, radius. This is basically the how big your thumb is type question. Start position. Where is the current position? Here we go. Position. So that's basically what we're looking for right here. Again, this is going to be result. Read value, because it's a control, not again, it's a control and not an actual property in that regard. So we're going to need to use the revalue on it, like we did mouse position. And that's going to basically be our code that we need. If you really wanted to, you can go. I mean, we could go in here and do a public. And we'll just put in a Boolean. I mean, we could do a public. Use touch. And then, you know, these are just here for our ability to control it. Again, we can be specifically use mouse. And I'm just going to do this one. I take that comment out. If use touchscreen. And just, you know, I can wrap it around. Yeah, so I can be specific. You know, I can turn them on, leave them both on. I can leave them both on. You know, use these as I see fit. So the idea is that this screen to world basically is say, hey, gets the location on the screen. Actually, I'm going to go back up, and for our purposes, I'm just going to leave this to be true. And then so the move to pointer basically is going to the screen world instance. We're getting, so every frame it's setting that location. And so basically it's move to pointer. Right now the update, we're setting our transform position. This is the move to pointer. Where is... Just check. I have a question in... Okay. Thought I had a question in Discord. Okay. Where is... Close this. Oh, okay. Extra semicolon. Let's go to the boat itself now. So look at the boat rotation script. Actually, this could be the other. So point towards, again, I'm going to screen world instance, world location. I'm doing dot product stuff here. You don't need to use the dot product, but I was curious to see what was the dot product. Don't need to worry about that. I am setting the point towards it to a public variable so I can see it in the world. And basically I'm just assigning, now this is not correct. The game object.transform.forward is equal to point towards. That's not the answer here. That will work for us right now because the boat's at 0, 0, 0. Once the boat starts moving around, that fails. So what it really is that the transform is actually is a game object dot transform dot position. And actually, I want a vector 3. I'm going to set that as the direction. What we do want to make sure that if we want to make sure our direction dot magnitude is greater than 0. And so we want to basically just make sure that the magnitude is greater than 0. Otherwise, Unity will function. It doesn't like having a 0 vector. It doesn't know where the point is set effectively in that regards. So these are yeah, let's save that. And let's actually, before I do anything else, we're going to save the project. Let's go to our build profiles. And I need to switch this over to Android. The next thing that we need to do is open the scene list once this is done. We'll add the boat world scene. And then I'm going to plug my phone in, and I'm going to port. So basically, I want to make sure that everything's okay on the phone before before I start moving the boat around. So build around. Again, one of the things is do make in this folder right here, make a new folder called builds. This is important that you use build or builds because when you use source control, it'll ignore this folder. So this is going to be boat world. Okay. This is one of those, I need to go to player settings. Where is it? Is it publishing settings? That's not what I want. And this is, we had this before. It's not a resolution now. Out of the way for a moment. Be nice if it told you what it was. Device filter. Oh man, I'm blanking. Here we go. It's down here. Okay. That's fine. I don't. Okay. Close project settings. Okay. Build settings. Build and run. Another reason why I should probably get a new phone. Put my phone back up. So I know this has been a lot of setup right now and just going over what you've got. I think I'm gonna export this out as a package. Because there were two things that needed to be updated. When it gets there. Any questions so far about what we needed to do, how we did it? No questions? Any questions at all?
I think last year you taught us something about wrapping like a portion of code where we could like, I think it was like the WebGL build.
Yeah, that was about different platforms.
Can we do that with the used mouse variable?
You could wrap it that way, but the code will run on the Android device. It's just there won't be any mouse pointer. So what ultimately, I mean, I duplicated code because I could have just could have left it as because ultimately on the Android device, it'll ask for the mouse, and it will give you a null because there's no mouse connected to it.
Gotcha.
So again, I've got basically a baseline of where I wanted to go with this. In terms of getting things making sure things were working correctly. Oops, I closed the project. Clear project. Okay, I'm going to actually go and I'm going to export the package here. Export. Me2. I will get this package up onto Canvas later. Just so that you don't have to worry about the fixes that I had to make. So you don't have to go back and do them yourselves, because that'll be a pain. All right, I can close you. All right. On the boat, basically, is the boat rotation. One other thing, what we'll do is we'll go. Now let's leave this script alone. Let me see, boat scripts. Again, tons of different scripts here for you to use. The boat control, boat rotation, lean control. We'll just make a new one. This is boat move. Do the boat move control. Let's put this on the boat. And we'll edit the script. Okay, so we'll start with using Unity engine dot input system. And then using Unity engine dot input system controls. So on update, basically what we want to do is basically what we're going to do is basically we're going to ask if there's been a new touch on the touchscreen, and if so, get its location, and then we'll be able to get the location from, again, the screen to world. So essentially, at some point we are going to go screen to world dot what did I call its reference instance? There we go. World location. So basically, our touch will be at that location. We need to know that a touch has happened. So first is that we can go to touchscreen.current. Again, if screen equal to null. And we probably should have called it like touch something lowercase touchscreen, but anyways, screen. Let me see. Thought there was something already here. So is pressed basically. So we can go and say, hey, if screen is pressed, so if is pressed, what is it? Is it a control? Yeah, it's a. Let's see, has. Was updated for so we can go is pressed. So if screen is pressed, what we can then let me get another function right here. Three location. And we can plug this in right here. So anytime the screen is pressed, basically that is going to basically going to put it going to move. It's going to call this function. So this, again, direction. Sorry, this is going to be vector 3 direction. It's going to be equal to the sorry, it'd be move to location game object transform dot position, and then our just check a look at the boat just quickly. Boat does have a rigid body, so we are going to again grab. We'll need a rigid body. Body, and we won't have to worry about the forward. We're not going to worry about the forward position. That's going to be and its positioning because that's being held by another script. So all we need to do is basically, and then there's a public float sail speed. So we'll set that to 10. And so now down here, basically, all we have to do is our rigid body dot linear velocity is going to be equal to our direction normalized times sail speed. We can go in more deeper. The next version of this that we can do. Again, it goes to the touches, and I do want to do this the more detailed way. So essentially, we'll do and then if touches dot count is greater than 0, and then we're gonna just go. We'll just go to the first one in that list. So we're gonna ignore again. We're gonna ignore other touches for right now. But here is touches dot, and we want the one I want to do is this called phase. Okay. This is of type touch screen phase. I think touch phase. There we go. Oh, is it just a read value? Yeah, so let me get rid of the control here and add the read value on the end of this. Touch phase. Why is it yellow about it? Yeah, this is where this is okay. So there is this thing, this touch phase. So we want to use the Unity engine input system dot touch phase. So this is going to be Unity. So Unity engine input system. So we're actually going to the package itself because, and again, even getting rid of the old input system didn't resolve this. Thanks, Unity. The problem is that this is using the Unity engine input system touch phase and not the touch phase that's in Unity engine. I know it won't, even though they're the same exact package, the same file, and it's because they're in two different places. It's asking for this particular version, and that's how we're going to get around this. What is phase? Phase has actually go to the documentation. There we go. So it is, it should be showing up. Why is it not showing up in the enum correctly? That's weird. So there is different, it's an enumeration. Began basically mean the touch has just begun. Moved, the touch has changed its position. Ended means the touch has just ended. Finger has left the screen. Canceled, it's ending other than user interaction, so focus away from the application when the touch has gotten going. So the alert system has come up and it's taken away from the application. That's a canceled. Stationary is that it's still on the screen, but we haven't moved the mouse. Your finger hasn't moved on the screen at all. So. This is important because essentially what we want. I bet you I gotta do. Hold on. I bet you I gotta do. Oh, there we go. I gotta go. So basically what we want to say, hey, this touch phase is equal to begin, So essentially what we're doing is an if statement. If this variable is equal to this right here. I'm actually going to bring up C#. Okay. So we can create an alias for a namespace using alias.directive. So basically using project is equal to piece. So our purpose here, basically what we want to do, let's go back to our code. And I'm just going to I'm going to write it right here for one moment. It's going to be using so this line of code is going to get put up here. So this would be after our, I'm going to use this right here. Now that I've set this up, I can go down and be like, hey, this is annoying. I'm just going to do T-phase. And I can go down here and be like, hey. And so basically what I've done is I've created basically a don't use this. This is a use generously as you need to. And I'm showing this now because we need to, because there is a confusion between the touch phase and the the basic Unity engine package and the input system package. So to get around this, we're going to make what's called an alias to basically have a way to, and I should probably say, I should probably use touch phase. I'm going to use the convention of a constant because this is a constant essentially. This is an alias to a particular class. And so because I'm doing this, I'm using the constant notation to basically as a way to indicate to other people, I'm doing something fishy here. Now, I normally wouldn't show this off, but this is a, hey, if you want to refer to a particular class in a particular way, you've got ambiguity between two different things, which is what's happening here. This is how you can get around that and make your code easier to read. I've made a alias, which is a reference to the class in my code to make my life easier. So. So again, we want to go in and be, hey, touch phase dot begin. If that's equal to my phase, then I'm going to move the boat to in that direction. And I've got an extra. Yeah, let me clean this up a little bit. So the thing that I want you to realize here is that I'm not having you use the phase in a particular way. I'm not having to do swipes or whatnot. But I want to see the idea that this exists. This is here. And this is getting into more sophisticated way of how you would deal with, how you deal with using the touchscreen. Things again, I want to remind you under touches, phases. Again, under touches, I'll go back to the touch control itself. There was the start position. So it remembers where it started. So you could do, if you were doing like a Tinder style swipe left, swipe right type mechanic, you now have reference to where it started, where it was. You can then figure out which direction did it go. Swipe left, swipe right. You can do swipe up, you swipe down. And there is a game, there's a precedent for this game, for something like that. This is Rain's mobile game. Here we go. So here's Rain's. Basically, here is a card you are given. At some point, you're given an option. Do I do this or do not do this? It has options. Getting what you do. There are things that happen based on your outcome. Ideally, Rain's basically there are 4 indicators: church, the military, the people, and your treasury. How much money you have, and these range from. I think it's on. I'm going to put it as a scale from minimum to maximum. I forget what the scale is. But if one of these indicators go above, or one or more go above the max or go below the minimum, the game ends. In a game, if the church is too powerful, then it's like you're a heretic and they burn you. If the church is not powerful enough, I forget what happens there. But there's different things that happen with if your mentalities are not powerful enough, it's too powerful. If the people are too powerful, if the people have no value, then they revolt because you basically enslave them. Money, if you've got too much money, then it's like a weird revolt happens because you have too much money. Whereas if you don't have enough money, you're broke, and that causes a revolution as well. What's weird about Reigns is that it's multi-generational. So like you end around, and then the next ruler pops up. And there are things that you can unlock things as you go along. Great little game if you're looking for something to play. It is, again, swipe left, swipe right mechanics for what you want to do for your decisions. Odd story. Again, it's a multi-generational story. It's a loose story. You have to do things to unlock the story, basically. So yeah, but this is a mobile game. Swipe left, swipe right mechanic. And I am recompile. Make sure everything. Yeah, let me take this out. So I've done this 2 different ways. I'm actually gonna uncomment. I'm gonna use only this side. This is. It does what I want, but it's every time it is while I'm pressing the screen. That should be true. That's why I'm showing you the phase here and going, hey, when I touch the screen for the first time, or I could be like, hey, touchscreen dot ended when I remove my finger off the screen. In fact, I'm going to keep it this way for right now. And then I can go, we'll go back, it will recompile. I'll do build and run. Yes, save. What is moving? Oh, you know what? I know there is. I gotta update this. So this is gonna be transfer position dot local position. Boat Bob and so I did do this correctly. Boot move, boot rotation. And boat rotation is at, let me just check the boat. Yeah, that's at the root. Okay. All right. So my boat wasn't moving, and the reason for that is because the boat Bob script. So what I need to do is let me go into boat rotation. No, sorry, boat move. I'm literally gonna take out all this code right here for right now. And I'm going to export the package, export, desktop. So you will have this script now in that package, so you can just do your work right here. You'll also have the alias set up for you, so you don't have to worry about that. So. I don't care. I need to keep that because I need to link to that later. So let's go back and let's build and run. Yes. Pretty straightforward what I'm asking you to do this week. heavy boots upstairs. And then so I'm going to show my phone just quickly. You can see that it's, you know, to the right. The one thing I don't have in the map is anything to show, like, and it's hard to see the boat because the camera's centered on the boat. The big issue, basically, I mean, you can see some movement, but it's hard to tell because it's. Again, let's just go to the camera route. Set it zoom to 5, just to to zoom out even further, and then we can go in and let's go to our zoom out. The solution basically is islands, and I'm just going to use a 3D object. I'm going to use a sphere. I'll just use 2. And we'll set this at 0, 0, 0. And then we can move this out. And then under materials, we have seafloor. Okay, let's move this up 1. There we go. There we go. So this is basically we're setting up something so that we can look at something visual, so that we have reference of something moving around. And we're just going to call this. Let's call it island. It'd be nice if this. So I have a big island just to fill out space. Wow, why are you being pain to Unity? There we go. So we got something basically to play with, to move around, around. So we have an idea of, not to get, this being a formal, like I'm making it. This is so that we have something to see visually on screen. So again, my boat's going to be much smaller. And then we go back, we can do save the scene, save the project, build and run. And it's not plugged in. Retry. Any questions? At this point, I'm going to stop the recording.